Hello, this is a new episode of Pints and Pages. I'm Nick.
I'm Levi.
And Brad's a little under the weather, so it's just Levi and I. So maybe the three of us will get back to doing this again. Maybe when we have chairs and we're done with the remodel.
Yeah.
I don't know what on earth happened to this week. I just wasn't able to get chairs.
It was a busy week for
I
you.
mean, I don't know. I don't even know what we're going to talk about. Did you have anything exciting happen over the last week? Because I didn't.
The fuck do you mean?
Okay,
Don't lie.
before we get into all the bullshit, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that follow button, hit that bell for notifications. Do all that fun stuff, and don't forget to follow, social media along with Twitch for Conchu's Fists and Savini Comics. I hope in the coming weeks that the store has maybe even a stream, if not at least video taking capabilities for box openings at the store. I guess my goal probably should be have it in place before Strixhaven hits. That way people that open full boxes or bundles or whatever for Strixhaven, they can do it maybe on camera, which would be cool and awesome and a new thing that Savini Comics can offer for customers. So that's my pitch and my overall discussion. If you haven't noticed, I think she's in the screen. There's a cat.
Yes.
There's two cats and a dog in here today with us, so we are not alone. We've got a Nesman, a JoJo, and whichever one this one is.
That one's, I think, Mo.
I think it's Mo. So Lilith has the little stripe. Mo's got the massive stripe. M and M and L and L. So that's how I half-ass remember which one's which. So, all right. So, without further ado, I will leave this part to you because I could ramble and be not incoherent, but ramble and be out of order all day long. So it might be best if you just maybe I'm hitting you with this without any prior, hey, this is what I'm going to do, but I just thought of it while I was sitting here because I don't even know what order to go in.
Go in any order, it doesn't matter.
Thoughts on the convention. Do you have any questions or conversation starters?
Conversation starters, probably not. And we talked about it a little bit at the convention, and I'll just jump straight into it, of getting the gaming advertised a little better.
Yeah.
But me and Kyla even talked about it today in the car when we were going to Easter, of the weather kind of fucked you guys. Because I think all it would have taken was two signs, one outside of each door, convention hall, gaming hall, room, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we definitely have to do a better job with the gaming next year.
Because I was thinking, you had mentioned yesterday, you were like, I think I'll just put it upstairs next year. And I was like, well, thinking about it today, it's better to have it in a quieter area because the convention hall is loud, or just that big hall.
Yeah.
I think just having signage, like especially just right up at that front entrance, hey, next door is the gaming.
Yeah, for sure. The big problem with it being next door is the biggest problem with it being next door and not in the same room really doesn't even have, I was thinking about this today and we had discussed it a little bit last night, just me and random people, was if you move the gaming into the regular hall and we advertise a little bit better and we get it out there and we make it a bigger thing, that leaves that room for panels. That leaves that room for expansion where you might not be able to.
What panels we could do?
Well, what you do is when you're booking your celebrities, like say I'll just use the names that we had. So you got Felissa Rose. So your big thing with Felissa Rose is okay. She's there from 10 to 6, and so from 10 to 2. She is she's signing autographs, but then we give her like a 30-minute break and let her go sit and chill and relax for a minute, maybe grab a bite to eat, drink, whatever she wants. And then at 2:30, from 2:30 to maybe 4 o'clock or 2:30 to 3:30, there's a Q&A where she sits over there. They play clips from Sleepaway Camp. Maybe people just ask her questions for an hour. But you sell tickets to that. So where you're losing booth space and you can't collect that money, you gain it back in what you're hopefully selling as tickets for the Q&As. So it would be an upcharge. It would be an uptick. So that way you'd also know, because Aaron brought up a good point yesterday, if you add that to your Eventbrite space, if like it comes to the day of the event and only 3 people have signed up for Felissa's Q&A, then you just go ahead and cancel the Q&A, refund them their money, and then you don't even waste your time going over there. You just go ahead and go, hey, listen, due to low ticket sales, the Q&A for Felissa's been canceled, and you just keep her out on the floor signing autographs where you're going to make more money, instead of maybe you give her a little bit of a break, which, she got some they all got some yesterday. There was nobody that was ever going to stop any of those guys from getting up and going to the bathroom or asking for a drink or needing to get up and walk around. And I think Felissa was out of her seat more than she was in it most of the day. So that would be something that we would entertain next year as a possible, in my opinion, would be an expansion. It would give us something else. I would rather do that, or I would like to do that as something that we could do with the people that we had there this year. We could easily have done one with the Maximum Overdrive guy, one with Felissa, one with probably, although Jake wasn't really a talker, I might have done one with Philip Kennedy Johnson because he was very personable, and I'm sure people would have had questions about how he got into comics and how he's done with his career. Heck, I imagine people would even have sat there and done a Q&A with Sammy Terry if we would have given probably the chance.
Most definitely. I know I saw a bunch of people, I'm going to say the words, jumping him, like not interrupting him, but stopping him when he wasn't on the mic.
Right. Yeah, he was incredible. It was great.
With all the love, and I know me and Izzy both kept making the joke, I'm going to hear that laugh in my fucking dreams.
Yeah.
He does it so well, but I was like, by a couple hours into the day, I was like, holy fuck, how many times am I going to hear this?
Yeah, and it's funny because he just he can go into it so quick. It's like cutting a promo for a wrestler. Like he can just snap into it really fast. But the best part is that's pretty much his voice. I don't think he really does a voice. I think it's just his voice kind of amped up. Like I don't think it's any different. Well, so it's really easy for him to go in and out of it. So, but yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna hear that laugh for forever. So, I did get positive feedback, even though we kind of started with negative feedback. I did get positive feedback from most of the convention. The vendors, I think, liked it. That is kind of where it's funny because that's how you kind of start year 2 It's like instead of celebrating the win, you're like, okay, let's write down everything we did wrong.
Yeah. I mean, but that's how you figure it out for the next year.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Although I think that me and Matt were able to let loose last night during the Foley's and the Jasons and enjoy our victory, our victory lap on, being, and not that we were alone in doing this. There were several people involved with everything that we did from start to finish. Tony made all the graphics. That was fantastic. We had all the people. Michael pulled a bunch of his friends from Frankfurt to come. They made the drive to sit with everybody. Michael went and got Felissa and Dave. I took them back today. Brad went and got Jake and made what I can only say is a hysterical post about telling his kindergarten teacher that one day he was going to go to the airport for a friend and pick up Jake Roberts. And he wants to meet that kindergarten teacher now and tell her, see, look at what I did.
Yeah.
My friend James Price was able to take him back today, which was I was glad I was able to do that for him. He is a huge Jake Roberts fan. He credits Jake and DDP with saving his life between getting sober and just like lifestyle change and the yoga, the DDP.
I forget
yoga.
that DDP does yoga.
So yeah, and so he got to take Jake back to the airport today, which I'm not gonna lie, helped me out a ton. But it was still nice to, when I'm scrambling looking, okay, I got to find somebody to take him. And it's just like people are celebrating and having fun. And I'm like walking around trying to find people. And then I thought, you know what, I'm going to take a chance and ask him and see what he says. And I definitely honored and was just happy as all could get out about getting to ride with him. And, promised me he wouldn't try to fanboy out on him on the ride, and I don't think he did. But he said in his head, he was like, his head just kept saying, "Oh my God, I'm in the car with Jake Roberts. Oh my God, I'm in the car with Jake Roberts." So
that's funny as fuck.
Yeah. I went to dinner with Jake last night. We went to the Old Style. That was a good time. He's not a real talkative guy. His wife's very nice. She was very talkative. I'm not saying he's not nice. I'm just saying he's just not very talkative. A lot of years on the road, a lot of years getting beat up, a lot of years doing drugs. She had made mention of that a couple of times. Life on the road, and you could tell it had taken a toll on him, but he was still sharp as a whip. When he wanted to have that one-liner, he'd come out with a one-liner on you. It's just, and a lot of things that we were talking about, he probably just didn't have any interest in it. Misty and Cheryl were talking a lot, and me and him were not. So every once in a while, he'd give me a look like, Jesus. So it's like, couldn't believe that that's what the conversation was at the table.
That's funny as fuck.
Yeah, so... we did that, and that was fun. Every day you don't get to say, Cheryl stopped me as we were leaving and said, hey, we want to take you to dinner tonight. Can you come pick us up at 6? And I was, you don't get that every day.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, that's fine. And I offered to pay, and she was like, I didn't ask you to dinner for you to pay. We're going to pay. I asked you to dinner because you got a hold of us. You brought us here. We want to be able to spend some time with you. So, which was fantastic. And I wish I would have had more time to spend with them. But, it's hard when you're putting something together to break away for a 2-hour drive to Indianapolis. Yeah. So, I'm gonna go. I will not be chartering my own flights back and forth though. But what I do think that I might do in the past, and in the future. And I don't even know if this is something that's done. is discuss maybe rental cars with the celebrity guests that come in.
You and I were talking about that
we're an
today.
hour and a half, 2 hours from the closest airport. I know it's kind of a pain in the ass, but can I just rent you a car? Yeah, that way you're not trapped at the airport. You can come in and leave as you please. Somebody doesn't have to wait on you hand and foot. And not that I won't make it work if I need to, but having a rental car, I would think would make everybody feel a little more comfortable. And it's not me trying to get out of doing anything. It's just me trying to make it more convenient. Especially
Convenient
with Dave.
for everyone.
Dave and Felissa texted me at a quarter to 1 last night because they were at Applebee's, and Applebee's was getting ready to close. They stayed open until 1 o'clock for them, and there were no available Ubers in Logansport. So they texted me and asked, and I didn't even get it until, I had just happened to wake up and look at my phone and realize that I had missed it, and was sent them a text and said, "Oh my God, do you guys are you trapped at Applebee's?" And they were like, "We just walked. It wasn't that bad. The wind really was one of those calm, dead nights where there wasn't a whole lot of breeze. It was a little chilly, but she said, we made it. We walked. It was, it wasn't very far." And I was like, "I'm so sorry." And Dave goes, "Our dumbasses was the ones that stayed out until she goes, we were the ones that thought that Logansport would have an Uber at 1 o'clock in the morning." And I was like, "That it's fair, but still, I should have made sure you guys were taken care of." And he goes, "Again, you didn't force us to go to Applebee's." And I was like, I get it. So, yeah. So, I took Felissa and Dave back today. Felissa already started planning year 2 for me next year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She was like,
Sweet.
I've got this person and this person and this person, and I'm friends with so and so and so and so and so and so. And I was like, okay. And she's like, and you need high energy people that are affordable, that are easy to take care of, that know that they're in this for the people
fans.
running the event, not in it for themselves. And you need them up and moving around and having fun like Dave and I were. And she's like, and you just that is what you need. She's like, you'd be shocked. You bring in, she goes, it's not as much about the person as it is about the fandom.
Yeah.
She said it's if you bring in somebody that's got a Game of Thrones credit, somebody out there that watched Game of Thrones loved that character, or somebody that just loves Game of Thrones in general is going to want that guy's thing because he was on the show and asking questions about, hey, how was so-and-so on set, or how. She goes, and those people that play those minor roles and do special things and go to all these horror cons are so appreciative of the fans, and they're such a joy to be around, and they're affordable for you. They're affordable for the people coming to the shows. She said, she goes, I would not sleep on that. She goes, I have more names. Dave and I have more names in our Rolodex than what you will ever think of that I can get you in contact with. And I said, okay. And she goes, no. She goes, you stay in contact with me. I will make sure that year 2 is fantastic. And I was
love that.
Okay. And she's like, yeah, anytime you need anything you need, you just text and I will help you out. And I was like, and Dave was the same way. He said he had some ideas for some different things that we could do in town just to do other promotional things along with the con. And he said he would reach out to me and just throw me some ideas. He goes, I think you can do, he said, I think you add a second day. I think that you add maybe a second or a third location. And he said, I think you do some pricing changes. And I think you do and he's like, but don't worry, I'm going to reach out and let you know. He goes, I got a bunch of stuff running through my head because he said for a first year, the fact that you had 500 people show up because that was our count, 500. So 500 people showed up. It was a good, enjoyable day. I didn't see anybody in a bad mood. I didn't see anybody not happy with what was going on. He said, this is your foundation to build at this point. And he said, he said, all you got to do now is go, okay, we grow, and how do we grow responsibly? So you do different things, and you do them, you make sure that you're covered as you're growing. And then, so he had some ideas he spouted off at me, and he's got some hellacious connections too. So we'll see. But he agreed with Felissa. You got to have high energy people in there that love what they do, and are part of like just those weird fandoms like Walking Dead and Game of Thrones and Felissa said any of the killers, Michael Myers, Jason, Leatherface, like any Pinhead, anybody that's played any of those characters. She said anybody that's any Scream Queens. She goes, whether or not they've been in A movies or B movies or C movies or D movies, if she's a Scream Queen, somebody loves her.
Oh yeah.
And she said not to say that there's nothing about Academy Award winning actors and actresses. She said, but those people are a lot less approachable than somebody like me and Dave, where people can walk up. They relate, and they've loved us for years, and we've loved our fans for years, and she was great. She's just great.
That's awesome.
So all the vendors seem very happy. I've gotten messages from a few of them saying thank you. A couple of them came to the after party last night. Lasered Lumber, he said, I definitely want to come back next year, and he came to the after party for a little bit. I don't think it was really his scene, but he still wanted to come out and show support. The Bearded Comics guy, I heard several people say that he was just fantastically priced. Of course, I didn't get to go through anything, but Tony said his comics were, he goes, man, he is all sorts of reasonable, and he's got all sorts of fun stuff. And he messaged me today and said, please, if you do this again, bring me back, which makes me feel good, because he was one of the ones that has done cons. He's like, I've done them all over the state. If you need any tips or tricks, let me know. And I really didn't bounce anything off of him, because it's hard to ask questions when you don't know what's going to happen. But he was one, so for him to be a con veteran and say, this was great, I want to come back, is a big deal. So at least I thought. So Scott Emmerd said it was a great turnout for him. The Four Dice guys, all the Pokemon and card guys all said they had a fantastic time. They wanted to come back. The artists seemed to do pretty good. I didn't get to talk to the author as much as I wanted to,
curious
or
how
check
she did.
on her. I'll probably reach out to her tomorrow and ask how she did and if her experience was okay. I didn't get upstairs as much as I wanted either, but the 3D printer guys, when I did go up there to do my embarrassing Sammy Terry laugh that everybody booed, everybody booed me. They said that they were doing great, and they handed out prizes. They handed out door prizes, but they said they were doing really good upstairs. The toy guy said he was doing okay. He's only done a couple of shows, so he's still kind of finding the groove for it. Frank said his physical media did pretty well. He said, I did really well today. And I said, you did? And he goes, yeah. He goes, I'm selling little pieces of my soul, but I did very good today. I just laughed. So, Tinfoil Tales podcast. He gave me a thumbs up a couple of times when I walked by. I know he wasn't selling anything, but I think he got some people to stand at his booth and talk to him and see what he's doing.
I know I definitely saw people standing and talking. I didn't know he was a podcast. Granted, I didn't really stop and talk. I was kind of just walking around up there.
Yeah, I think he's got a conspiracy theory podcast. He's out of Peru.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Pacific Midwest Creations is another kind of 3D. And he said that he wanted to come back next year. So yeah, I think I think it went well. I got interviewed by Punk Till I Die podcast, which was kind of cool. I got interviewed for the radio, for the River, and yeah, I was on video doing an embarrassing Sammy Terry laugh that everybody booed. That was fantastic. I'm sure that's on Sammy Terry's fans website if anybody wants to go watch it. But all in all, between Sammy Terry, I'll go around the horn between the Foleys, who had a fantastic time, and my God, those guys are fantastic, and they are just advertising like just hounds. Man, they are everywhere. They're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, and they advertised and talked us up. They were still doing it this morning, and God love them. I appreciate the shit out of it. They are some fantastic guys, and I love them to death. So I appreciate everything that they did. Sammy Terry was great. MC was definitely worth every penny there. I think Philip Kennedy Johnson had a good day. He said he sold a lot of books and signed a lot of stuff. He had a good time. He was able to come home and visit family. We've got Hannah Fearman, who was a last-minute ad. She drove up from Indianapolis. A lot of people were excited to see her, and I don't think she was expecting a whole lot and did way better than she thought. I'm going to skip one and go to Felissa. She had a really good day. Dave had a really good day. They both loved every second of being there and interacting with everything. I think Jake had a pretty good day, but Jake's hard to read. His wife seemed pleased with everything, and I think that was the main person I needed to make sure was happy. As long as she was happy, I think Jake was going to be happy. So that worked out really well. And then I'll go back to our local kid. I say kid, he's older than me. Our local guy, Shane Bitterling. He came to town to see his parents. He came into town for Matt and I. We asked him to come to town and do this con, and he doesn't like to get told that he's a celebrity, but he's written movies, for God's sakes, and produced movies and done things and lives in that world. And that's a world that you could only dream of getting to live in, and he gets to live in it. So he is a fantastic guy, and he volunteered to come to town, didn't want Matt and I to worry about anything, stayed with his parents, got to hang out with his folks, with his mom, got to see friends and family, I think. His brother, guys that he graduated with that are still in town, he kind of hung out. I think he got in on Thursday, maybe Friday. No, he got in on Thursday. So, and after the show was over, I asked him how he did, and he goes, "My God, I can't believe it. I did pretty well today. Like, people actually wanted my movies. People actually wanted autographs. People actually wanted photos with me." He says, I don't understand it. And I said, well, it's
That's
not every
awesome.
day that you get to see somebody from Logan Sports succeed in that world. So, there you go. You've done it. So, you should be celebrated for it. So, I did tell Matt, and I joked with, I told Shane, but I think he thought I was joking. I plan on, if we can only get Sammy Terry to Logan Sport once a year, it should be to MC the convention. And every year we bring in Sammy Terry, and every year we bring back Shane Bitterling. Like, I would love for Shane to be able, hopefully he can, but I think I think he thought I was joking. I was not. I would love for him to be the staple, the cornerstone of the, oh my God, we're bringing back Shane Bitterling. That's what. every year I want him to be in town for it. I want him to participate. I want him to be
And
part of the
refuse to
action.
say
I
that
want
he's
him
a
to do a
celebrity.
panel. I want him to do a panel about being a screenwriter. Like that would, I mean, I would think people in this town, especially if we got it out there and maybe even into the schools, the career center and stuff like that, I think people would be interested in hearing how he did what he did and
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
the struggle and the stuff that he went through to get there. And I don't know if it was a struggle or not, but but it was very cool to just kind of hang out with him and shoot the shit and know that he's in that world. And he had already knew Felissa and Dave, so he was able to reconnect with them. And I think at some point he was able to reconnect with Hannah. I think he had known Hannah from something also. So, so to give Shane even that little bump to where it's like Felissa Rose has his information again. If she lost it, she has it again. So, maybe that'll open a door for him. I don't want it to open a door where he can't come to next year's con. That'll be bullshit. It'll be like, well, I got this connection with Felissa and she's got me writing on a movie, so I can't come to your convention. I'll be like, bullshit, you're coming and doing it because I'm the only reason you got that job.
Jackass.
So, but yeah, no, we met people. We met some people we met a guy that does work with Trauma Entertainment. So he thought everything was badass. Wished we would have been able to work out a deal with Trauma to get a booth in. And Matt and I both told him, man, there's next year. There is next year. So, for people like that are local, because he's a local guy too, to come and see the show, see how many people showed up, see all the happy faces, see all the happy vendors, and then go, man, I should have been here. Like when you guys pushed me, I should have pushed harder. And then it's like I really think we should work something out next year. Then it's like, okay, we've already got our foot in somewhere with somebody next year, so.
I didn't know when you said Trauma that they were the ones that did the Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, they did Toxic Avenger. It's a bunch of, it's staple B movies. I mean, for sure, but it's also very popular B movies. I mean, people love those. People, when you say Trauma, people know what you're talking about.
There are so many fucking
There
movies.
are so many of those movies. So, yeah, I don't even know what else to say other than it was, if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I was going to own a comic book store and just finish the weekend hosting my first ever Comic-Con, I would have told you were nuts. So, and here because of, Matt and Tony and Papal and Tracy and you and Kyla and Brad and Alex and Misty and Dawn and Scott and Brett and Aubrey and everybody else, we've been able to, we pulled this all together. The State Theater, Rebecca at the State Theater, holding their Super Smash Brothers tournament, which was a huge success and might lead into the State Theater being able to host more video game events.
I'm glad. I was curious how that went.
Rick Duncan hanging out, doing his thing, selling his stuff, obviously for his own business, but also being around all week. He was at the Catan tournament on Thursday. He was at Trivia on Wednesday. He was at Super Smash Brothers on Tuesday. Like he was anywhere and everywhere where he knew. He promoted Geek Week to no end. They put signs up in the windows. They changed their advertising for the week to have everything to do with the con. He was a tremendous help, and I think he'll be utilized coming in the years to come. So definitely a resource and a mind that I think we can use to bounce ideas off of and kind of get that thing going. I was glad to see Clinton out yesterday. I didn't get to talk to him a whole lot. I hope he did well. I think he did well. He seemed pleased every time I saw him. So
He's doing well. I know he got a decent amount of business.
yeah, so guys that hung out all day and never blew me shit for the gaming stuff kind of falling apart. Aaron, Dustin, Ray, Clay, Sam, Nate.
I'm gonna say this,
Seth.
I hope Ray's okay because by the time I left, he was MIA.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. I literally, I left to pick up Jake, and I don't know that I still saw Ray. So
it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock, and they had brought food out that he ordered, set it at his playmat, and that was kind of when everyone realized, where the fuck did Ray go? Car wasn't out in the fucking parking lot. All of his shit was still there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where he went. But anyway, yeah, I'll everybody coming out. I hope to make the gaming, like I said, I hope to make the gaming better. I do think even with it being loud, it would be a good idea to put it in upstairs in the main room, just because Sammy could do announcements, say that you guys were up there.
Right.
Like, it would be a focal point. Tim Shockey, the Maximum Overdrive guy, God, I do not want to forget about him. He's got all sorts of connections and people in the horror and the music world. He is a fantastic guy. He was great. He was so gracious. We did have a little snag with him. He needed electricity where we parked him. Didn't have electricity because we thought we were going to put him in one place. And then we ended up having to put him somewhere else. And then he needed more ampage than we thought we were going to have. So Matt ended up grabbing a generator, and we ended up doing some different things that we weren't planning on. But that comes into when they fill out the sheet. It's like, and I'm not saying that he didn't. When he fills out the sheet, I need to be asking specific questions and looking for specific answers. Like, okay, here's not just a first floor guy, but a first floor guy that needs electricity. And here's a guy, okay, this guy's going to be outside and he's a vendor, but he's going to, like Katia said, ask for a writer. Ask for a writer. Give me everything that you need. You know, I need plugged in 30 amps. I need this. I need that. I need... You know, I request 30 minutes in a green room to decompress, or at, make sure that I'm given water and pretzels all day long, or whatever they're going to need. Make sure that we get that writer information from all of them so that we're prepared for that. Because honestly, I just kind of thought, and this is the naive of me, and the knowledge that Katia has, they just tell us when they wanted something. Yeah. Like, just, hey, this is what we got. Like, let me know when you need it. And, one of them come in and asked where the green room was, and we really don't have one. We really didn't have one. And who was going to be providing her with snacks, and we didn't really plan for that. So there was just little things. But if we would have had everybody fill out a writer with not really a list of demands, but a list of requests that I could then modify or make changes to and say what we could and couldn't do, and then send it back and go, okay, we can accommodate these, but we can't accommodate these. I think I'm going to have that for our next celebrities that will be here in September. That I can't name yet. So,
I was gonna ask.
We haven't announced that yet.
Are you guys planning on doing this annually, biannually, like twice a year?
Yeah. So our plan is our plan is once a year.
That's what
There's no way I'm doing it twice a year.
That's what I figured, but then you just mentioned September. That's why I asked.
Well, September is OVW. So what I can say is, no secret, OVW's been here for 2 years now.
Right.
We're bringing them back for a third year. I don't think anybody's shocked about that. No. So we're bringing OVW back for a third year. And that'll be in September. It'll be a little bit later in September. I'm hoping that it's not cold. Last year, the only cold weekend in September was the weekend that we did it. But we can't do it that first weekend. There's some scheduling conflicts. And we can't do it the second weekend because there's scheduling conflicts. Our scheduling conflicts the first weekend. Their scheduling conflicts the second weekend. So we settled on the third weekend in September. So it's a little bit later, but I think it'll still be fine. Even if it's cold, I think people will still show up, and the wrestlers don't mind the cold. But we are bringing in some legends to not wrestle, but to do a signing, to do autographs and signings. So autographs and signings, autographs and photos. So I always want to say those like together, and they're the same thing. And on their contract, I looked at it today after having that conversation about writers. I looked at it today, and they have some requests on there that we probably really, the past me, well, I can tell you right now, I looked at it before, last week, I looked at it and went, okay, it's good, because we kind of have that. I learned my lesson. It's not kind of. Like, I need to be upfront. Like, so I'm going to email them back and be like, okay, I cannot, this is what we have. Like, I don't have a green room, but what I have is the men's and women's locker room. And can they use the men's locker room as their green room? Like, do they need to have their own specific space? Because I don't have it. Like, period. I just don't have it. Like, so if they need their own specific space for quiet or to be left alone, I don't have it. So before I pay you, I just need them to know that. And it says something about having EMS on site, which I need to let them know that, like, I mean, the ambulance service is 2 blocks down. Like, if you call 911, it's 2 blocks away, but I'm not going to pay EMS to be on site. Like, there's no way like that. I don't even think that's a thing here in Logansport, and I'm definitely not paying the city to do that. So,
I was going to say that's what it'd have to be here.
Yeah, I mean, so it's kind of one of those things where, you know, if we call 911, they're 2 blocks away. But these are things that I now know I need to, like, be specific, because I don't want any confusion on. Right. So it'll be kind of like they're not really their writer, but kind of their writer has these 4 or 5 demands, or, you know, things that they're asking us to do, and I just need to make sure that they know what we can and can't accommodate. Now, if they decide to say, well, that's not going to work for us, we can't come, well, then okay, that'll work. But it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I don't want to get into a situation where and this was no fault of Jake's, it was definitely of mine, where I kind of didn't follow what I thought I needed to follow. Like, I was kind of I was kind of following how I thought things were gonna go, and then they went sideways on me. So, right, which was no fault. Jake and Cheryl thought one thing, I thought something else. Especially when it comes down to flights, and I don't want to talk about price on air, but like, especially when it talks about flights, like, so I don't want any confusion, and I just want to make sure that they know what they're getting into when they walk into our podunk city in our, you know, facility. This is what you're getting yourself into. Like, this is what we've got, and this is what we don't. So either you agree to it or you don't, and if they don't, cool. You know, all right, we'll move on. But I also know that these guys that we've invited to come have been touring with, I use touring loosely. They've been making appearances at indie shows, and they've been making appearances at gymnasiums. Yeah. Like, the last time I saw their pictures taken together, they were in a gymnasium at a school. So, or a rec center. So they've got to be at a wrestling event. So they've got to be, unless they're putting them in a classroom by themselves, they've got to be in the men's locker room. Right. So, yeah. So, you know, like I said, I can't really give them their own space, but I can tell them that this is what I have, and this is the best I can do. Right. You know, and if they have any questions, especially the guy that I'm working with, his son, their agent is Cal Hero's dad. Oh, really? Yeah. So that's fun. And I've never met him, but obviously Cal's been into town 3 times now. Obviously Cal can give them the lay of the land. you know.
Oh,
and
yeah.
and I'll probably tell his dad Dave that too. Is kind of like if you've got any questions about how the layout goes or how the process goes for the event, you can absolutely get a hold of your son, Cal. He's been here 3 times, and just kind of ask him if the legends are going to be okay with the setup or not okay with the setup.
Right.
So yeah, it's just one of those things. So now that I've talked at nauseum about that, everybody's going to wonder, who is it? So, yeah, so I'm just kind of, we're waiting now that the event's over. I would suppose in the coming weeks, you will probably see announcements dealing with the Matt Summer Concert Series, which involves OVW. So yeah, so fun times.
I've went down a dumb deep dive because I was looking at just dumb Maximum Overdrive stuff. I didn't know in the TV movie remake they did in '97 called Trucks.
Yeah.
What is it? Giancarlo Esposito was in it.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking at Maximum Overdrive, it was like he reflects his time, and I was like, "What the fuck is this article?"
Yeah, Trucks was the original name of the Stephen King short story that Maximum Overdrive was based on. So when they redid it as a show or whatever, they actually named it Trucks.
Yeah,
It's the only movie that Stephen King ever directed.
and it's a fucking failure.
And he said that when he got finished with it, that the movie was so bad and his experience directing actors were so bad that he would never direct again. So
I can understand that.
he said it was a terrible experience. To which Rick Duncan replied back when I said that at trivia on Wednesday. Rick Duncan's reply back was, it might have had something to do with the massive amounts of cocaine he was doing also.
Also very factual.
So also very, very true. So yeah.
I'm still trying to understand why Marvel allowed them to put the Green Goblin's face on it.
Yeah, I don't know how they got the rights to that. All I can think is Stephen King must have known somebody and asked. I don't know how they got the rights. Did you know the entire soundtrack is AC/DC?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
I've never seen the movie.
It's Stephen King's favorite band, so the entire soundtrack is like a greatest hits of AC/DC.
What the fuck?
From like their existence to like 1987 or whatever. So yeah, it's just a bunch of AC/DC songs. Yeah, that they pulled from different albums. So, but I do not know how they got the Green Goblin head. So yeah, I don't have it has to do, the movie has to do with like an alien race that like takes over technology or something and turns all the ATMs and trucks and things into killers. I don't know, it's a weird concept, but
yeah, Austin at the bar was bitching about that to Brad because he's like, the whole movie, like it's obviously dog shit, but it's a great movie. He's like, but the beginning of it sucks because a vending machine comes to life and shoots pops at people and kills them.
Yeah.
He's like, how's it shooting the pops? I can understand it dispenses down, but how's it firing them? And I'm like, out of the whole fucking movie, that's your upset point is how's a vending machine firing out pops?
Yeah. To go a different direction with that, you watch something like the show From, and I'm sure you could get this with Lost. And that is like, so From, there's like, if you're not in the house at dark, zombies come out. Creatures that look like real people come out and kill you and eat you alive, like gut you and split you in half and take your organs or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, they come out and they kill you after dark. But if you're in a house and you don't open the door for them, they can't come in. And they won't break glass to get in. They want you to open the door and let them in, like they're vampires or something. But if you put talisman up, I take that back. They used to break in, but now they can't because the talisman. So the only way they can get into the house with the talisman sitting there is if they're invited. So if you open the door, they'll come at you. So, or invite them in or whatever. So, but anyway, so that's like the whole premise of the story is you're in this town that you can't get out of and you got to hide at night because these things are. So every time something stupid happens, like we went into a cavern and it winded us around, and then we got stuck in this little tunnel, and then I came up, and then there was this guy chained to a wall, and he was going to help me, and we didn't know it, and then we vanished, and we showed up here, and they were like, you expect us to believe that? And they were like, we live in a town that we can't fucking leave because fucking vampires come out and fucking gut us at night, like... But my story about getting caught in a cavern and going through a weird fucking warp tunnel, that's what you can't wrap your mind around? It's the weirdest thing in the world. Like, while they're going, I think they're hallucinating and making that up. Dude, you can't leave the fucking city you're in. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
this 50, whole place is out of whack, and this is the part you're fucked up about.
There's 50 people living in a 3-block town, with monsters that come out at night and fucking look like the milkman, but grow fucking fangs and eat you alive. But you don't think that this is your breaking point? This is a little too weird for you? Like, are you fucking serious right now? So, yeah, that's the only irritating part about that show is they're like, oh my God, should we lock him up? He sounds crazy. The whole fucking thing's crazy. So, anyway, yeah. That's what I get from the Maximum Overdrive. It's like, okay, it's shooting cans out of the thing, but you're trying to figure out the geometry on the trajectory. Like, that's the thing it's not the fact that the Coke machine came alive and is shooting pops out of it. It's whether or not it's physically possible or not. That's the thing that's bothering you. So yeah, it's the same sort of thing. So
I should have asked him, did you also find it unrealistic you never saw the semi-truck get gas? How to drive all that distance without getting gas?
It didn't need to. It was alien powered. It was alien powered. The aliens distort the vending machine so that it could dispense pops at a trajectory. Oh, shoot. Anything else?
I don't think so.
How long did I babble?
About 52 minutes.
Okay. All right. Do we think we're good?
Yeah, I don't have an issue.
Okay.
All right. Without sound, glancing through the Maximum Overdrive trailer, and half of it just having the fucking head in the background is just kind of retarded.
It just has the head in the background?
Like, again, I don't have sound, so I don't know what he's saying. And
I got my picture taken with that goblin head.
Oh, God, my fucking camera's all fucked up here.
But I also forced Felissa Rose to go out and get her picture taken with
Yeah, you told us about that one. Yeah, see this vending machine. That's what he was bitching about. But yeah, I don't get why it's just in the background there.
I don't know.
Having it stare at me was
Scott and I got our pictures taken, and then Tim was like, I've been to so many shows with Felissa, and she's never come out here and look at it. So I walked in and was like, hey, you want to go out and look at the goblin head? She's like, absolutely. So we got up and went out there. She got her picture taken with the goblin. Tim was so happy to meet her. They're going to be at another show in a couple of weeks, some sort of horror show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that'll be my, here's a big thing to comment and like and share is tell me who you'd like to see at the next one. I want to know who you want to see at the... Be reasonable, goddammit. Don't ask me to bring in... I'm not bringing in Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't do any of that stupid shit. Or Ric Flair. They're too expensive.
Oh.
I need affordable people. Like, who do you want to... What fandoms should I bring to the next one?
Tropic Thunder.
Did you say Tropic Thunder? Yeah.
The whole Ben Stiller universe.
But I definitely, if you were going to go horror and you were going to go, something out there like a former Michael Myers or a former Jason or a former Leatherface, Pinhead. I don't even know that Robert Englund is traveling anymore, but I would love to get Freddy. He's the guy that played Freddy. So, anything like that? You got any actors that you guys really prefer, like I said, or fandoms that match that level of Felissa Rose and Dave Sheridan? Then shoot them out there. Put them out in the universe. Be awesome if you could get this guy. Then obviously maybe I can look into it. Worst thing I can find out is they're too much money and not within the budget. So
not only is he traveling, he's traveling fucking everywhere.
Oh, Robert Englund?
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
He's one of those guys that you'd have to worry about being dead probably next year, because I think he's he's got to be in his 70s.
The picture on his fucking events page for his website is him and Stan Lee.
Oh, nice.
Tells you how old he is. But I mean, a week ago he was in Belgium. A couple days ago he was in England. In a couple weeks he'll be in New Zealand, and then he's back here in the U.S., and then back up to Canada, and then back down here to the U.S.
Nice.
Like, he's fucking everywhere.
Yeah, might have to be something I'll look into. So, yeah, so that's where we're at. Or any WWE wrestlers. There's definitely some still on my list of I'd like to meet. But, we
almost had one.
We got names out there. So
we almost had the most important one. Danhausen,
yeah. Yeah, it was funny. I was walking with somebody, and they said, dude, you should have booked Danhausen. I said, dude, I did. He had to bail because he signed his WWE contract. And he's like, no shit. And I was like, yeah. He said, get a hold of me and, get it. In November when I got a hold of him, he said, get a hold of me in February. If I'm still available, I'll do it. I got a hold of him in February, and he's like, sorry, I can't do it. I got other contractual obligations. And then 2 weeks later, he debuted on WWE TV. So, it's one of those things. So,
our wonderful weekly Danhausen, I did see that he uncursed the ref.
He did.
That
made me laugh. That he cursed.
That Miz threw in front of him.
Yeah, that he cursed because of the Miz, and then he uncursed him so he could count to 3. Yeah, no, Danhausen was superb this week. So
my favorite is the fact that he's like, normally I do this for your human monies, but you're good now. And just smacked him on the back and goes away.
Yeah, and then the Miz gets him in the final thing, and the lights go out, and he fucking disappears up the ramp. It's just, yeah. The weekly Danhausen report. He's fantastic. He's great. Watch all his videos. We support. We are Fanhausens. So
we are Fanhausens.
We are big Fanhausens. So now we just have to wait until May when we go to Saturday night's main event, and all 26 of us are wearing Danhausen shirts.
Oh, don't fucking tempt me. I will find as much. I will see if I can have someone custom make me pants with those little fucking tooth emblems on it.
And a cape.
Yeah, and a cape on the pants.
And a cape. He's, what did Brad show me that he's got now? He's got a, Brad's got his hat. I know that.
Oh, Brad got his hat.
Oh, he's got a purse. You showed me his purse.
Yes.
He's got a tooth purse. He's got a tooth purse. Yeah. Yeah, because you threatened Kyla that you were going to buy it for her.
Yeah, and she was not happy about that.
I thought they had giant Danhausen heads you could buy now, too.
I'm looking on the website right now. I'm trying to see if I can't just go find Danhausen.
You should. It should be up at the top. Like, if you go to the shop, it should be up at the top that just says Danhausen. So, and
he has plastic masks.
That's it. Masks. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Brad was like, oh my God, have you seen the Danhausen masks? And I'm like, what? And he's like, they've got Danhausen masks.
Yeah, they have fucking Danhausen masks.
That is
I say we all need to show up wearing one.
That is amazing. They got shirts, they got hoodies, they got a little
I love the fucking plush.
Insane. Insane.
What the fuck is that?
So is it
Unsigned photograph.
It's just an 8x10 photo.
Of his debut.
Yeah. Of his debut where he got booed. He got booed during his debut.
You can get it as big as 20 by 24.
Big giant poster.
A foot and a half by 2 feet. Oh my God.
And then I buy a meet and greet and have him sign it. If he has a meet and greet at main event, I may do it. So just so I can meet Fanhausen. So I can.
What you should do instead is pay $70 for Danhausen's frame 13 by 16 2026 Elimination Chamber collage with a piece of the mat.
No way.
And there's only
$70.
Yeah, there's only 500 of them.
Oh my God.
But they're unsigned. So if you get one signed, it becomes one of them. One of one.
One of one. Nice. Okay. All right. That's an idea. That's a thought.
I'm thinking. And then we never sell it.
So much human monies.
So much human monies.
So much human monies. Maybe I'll be able to afford money in the bank after that. All right. On that note, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff I told you to do at the end. If you hit that like button, also hit notifications so that you can, so you can get notified when we upload on Mondays. Hopefully Brad is feeling better next week and we can all get back in a room together. So we have some other stuff. I mean, there's always something going on. I haven't caught up with Daredevil, so I need to do that. So I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about that next week. And then just things to look forward to. Maybe we'll get the summer concert announcement and be able to throw out there, and talk a little bit about what's going on with that and OVW. So other than that, I'm Nick.
I'm Levi.
And this has been Pints and Pages.